Hello there, person watching this video. My name's The Beak, and I want to drill a couple of letters into your skull real quick. SCP. Now, if you've been on the internet at all over the past, decade, you probably just Wojak pointed at your screen. Oh my god, the SCP, I know what the SCP is. But if you somehow don't know what this is, if you've never ever heard this combination of seemingly random letters before, you're probably wondering in your brain, okay, the Beak, what does this have to do with anything? Well, you see, these three letters, SCP, they aren't just a couple of consonants thrown next to each other. Nah, God no. They are the abbreviation for probably one of the biggest fandoms on the entire internet. The whole thing. Secure, contain, protect. The SCP community is massive, and it has been for ages. Pages and pages and pages of lore. Millions and billions of views. Come on, person watching this video, we've all watched those SCP Explained infographic show videos at like 3 in the morning. Like, come on, we've all been there.
But there are a few SCPs that could blow all the other SCPs out of the water by ending the world completely.
Here's the thing though. Sure, while the SCP is insanely popular, the SCP popularity situation is stupendous. Don't know about you, but me, I've slowly been starting to notice a rise in discussion surrounding how the internet has, in quotation marks, ruined SCP. Threads on the smelliest website on the internet, TikTok videos, YouTube videos, and today, you and me, we're gonna try to find an answer. So how about you sit down, get comfy, subscribe to the Beak YouTube channel, leave a like on this video, join my Discord server, links in the pinned comments, and get ready to fire your neurons, because it's time to work out whether or not the internet ruined the SCP Foundation. Right, now, before we get any further into this video, I have a confession to make. Sure, I know what the SCP Foundation is. I've played some of the games before. I know what Peanut is. But me, I'm not the biggest fan of the SCP. It's not like I dislike it or anything. I've got some vendetta against the SCP. I hate the SCP. It's nothing like that. It's just something that I never got around to learning about, you know? Young me, I was more interested in FNAF and sharks and Pokemon and dinosaurs and Call of Duty Black Ops. My brain liked this. I didn't get around to learning about this. With that being said though, I think that kind of puts me in a unique position. Because I'm not involved in the SCP community, the SCP fandom, digging into this argument of how, the internet ruined SCP versus no it hasn't, you're just old. I get to experience and research the SCP Foundation and the SCP community for the first time in my entire life. Like, the whole thing, the whole duration of it, ever. I'm going in with a blank slate. However, I do have a friend who is quite knowledgeable on the SCP. Oh my god, he's been in this community for years and years and years now. He's an absolute lore scholar. Here he is. This is Dale. And now I think we should ask Dale a very important question. Dale, what's the SCP Foundation?
What the fuck are you talking about? Where am I?
What Dale was trying to say is that the SCP Foundation, founded on 4chan, oh no, is a clandestine worldwide foundation that acts beyond conventional jurisdiction, with the task of containing anomalous objects, entities, and phenomena. They maintain an extensive database of information regarding anomalies requiring special containment procedures, commonly referred to as SCPs, all of which
undermine the natural laws that the people of the world implicitly trust in. They operate to maintain normalcy so that the worldwide civilian population can live and go on with their daily lives without fear, mistrust, or doubt in their personal beliefs, and to maintain human independence from extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, and other extra-normal influence. Their mission is threefold: secure, contain, protect.
Basically, no, look, there's an evil creature. It's our job to put it in a box. But what are these evil creatures? SCP-682 must be destroyed as soon as possible.
is a humanoid.
Now, to find out how this whole SCP it's an evil creature stuff works, the other night I took a dive into the SCP Wiki. This place, I read directly from it earlier, remember? Look, it's this place. Look at your screen. And what I found was this. The SCP universe is filled to the brim with tons of anomalies. And you can take all of these millions and millions of anomalies and divide them up into different categories based on how easy they are to contain. Mainly these three categories: safe, Euclid, and Keter. Safe, meaning that containment is safe. What? Euclid, meaning that containment is a little bit more complex and it can escape if somebody allows it to. I found this Euclid SCP the other night, SCP-087. This thing is locked behind a doorway made of reinforced steel with electroshock release lock mechanisms that only release when a specific amount of volts are applied in conjunction with a counterclockwise rotation of a key. And Keter, meaning you're fucked. There are more classes like Archon. There's Archon. There's Apollyon. There's Ticonderoga. There's Thalmoil. Jesus Christ! I feel like I'm summoning a goblin from the Necronomicon. But according to the SCP Wiki, these classes, Apollyon, Archon, Thalmoil, the other one, apparently these are more secondary classes. The big three are Safe, Euclid, and Keter. My brain has now been enlightened about what these words mean. And on a real for a second, sitting down and digging into what a whole bunch of SCPs are the other night, it was actually really interesting. Like, I'd always known of the existence of SCPs like copyright infringement and XQC and the Plague Doctor and that one massive shopping center, IKEA, Walmart thing, but actually taking time out of my day to read some of this stuff, as I said, really interesting. I think one of my standout discoveries was a Keter class SCP called SCP-169, or the Leviathan. It's basically this massive ancient underwater snake creature, dinosaur, Lovecraftian thing that's just having a nap. I'm a massive dinosaur shark enjoyer, you know, what can I say? I think this type of stuff is cool. You see this is a megalodon tooth. This is the tooth of an aminal that was swimming in the prehistoric oceans millions and millions and millions of years ago. This is one of my prized possessions. I think shark stuff is cool. Subnautica, you know Subnautica, the game with the Reaper Leviathan. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Dale, what's your favorite SCP?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Wow. But the beak, how do SCPs get introduced into the universe? I can hear you thinking in your brain on the other end of the screen. A good question. It's one that I now have an answer to. TLDR for you, SCPs get created by people like you and me writing and submitting our own ideas. Like, if I wanted to create an SCP all about a seemingly innocent doctor morphing into our home when his patients ask him, "Doc, how long do I need to stay at home?" I
I'd have to sit down in front of my PC, fire up my neurons, come up with lore, and then submit it. Would I be successful? I don't know. What do you think? Would you read my SCP about a seemingly innocent doctor morphing into a home when his patients ask him, "Doc, how long do I need to stay at home?" Let me know in the comments. But that's how you do it.
And while we're talking SCP stuff, holy shit, I haven't even mentioned the people in this universe yet.
You've got your test subjects. These guys, they're called D-class personnel. Their fashion sense is orange. They're usually death row inmates. They get thrown into the monster box. Then you got scientists wearing lab coats and task forces made up of elite personnel drawn from across the Foundation. But the tribal chiefs of the SCP universe are these guys, the O5 Council. These guys, important, like very important. They are the heads of the SCP Foundation.
How many are there? 13! Apparently, though I don't know for certain. They are a very secretive group of people, so I mean, would you be surprised if they fudge the numbers? I wouldn't be. I mean, you probably don't even know for certain. I wouldn't be surprised if they're lizards.
Oh, and there's way more in the SCP Foundation universe, by the way. Like factions, missions, events, very important specific people, all of that type of stuff. Honestly, I've pretty much barely scratched the surface here. But if I was to talk about it all, you know how there are like 20 million FNAF game theory videos? This video would be the length of them combined. We'd be here forever.
So for now, another real talk quick. I can see why lots of people really enjoy SCP, got hard into it over the past few years. And I also now have an understanding about why it got so popular to begin with. This whole collaborative we can come together and tell a story on the internet thing, I think that's really cool. Like, I really do. I can't really think of many things like it off the top of my head. I guess the only thing that comes to mind that's somewhat similar, and by the way, warning, very niche reference incoming.
Editor, put a warning on screen. Warning, niche reference. It's this one game my friend Reagan and I were hard addicted to a couple of weeks ago. It's an online MMO called Foxhole. Now, TLDR for you, Foxhole is a game where you and thousands of other players are divided up into two different teams, the Colonials and the Wardens. These guys eat babies. And you actively take part in this persistent map-wide war. That's cool enough on its own. But what I find really engaging about Foxhole is that it's based on what you as players create and get up to. So, tons of little player-generated things are happening all around you constantly, contributing to the larger story of the war. As I said, really engaging. And I think this sense of engagement is one of the main reasons why SCP blew up and is still pretty popular. People are interested in it because they feel like they're a part of this ever-expanding universe's story.
And on top of all of that, horror story things with lots of lore, they've just always been quite popular on the internet. People in general like this stuff. Look at creepypastas. Huge. Little bit of the Beak lore for you here, real quick, person watching this video. Child me, I was petrified of this thing, this evil creature. He's called the Rake. Ooh, the Rake. Ooh, look how evil he is. Ooh. Dale, I want you to answer this question for me. The Rake versus Jeff the Killer. Who wins?
What?
Who wins? Answer the question. I'm going to put the fucking bag back on your head.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But, and now this is quite a big but, I'm going to move my mic closer to my mouth to really emphasize what I'm going to say next. Now that we know what the SCP Foundation is and why it got so popular, I think it's time that we finally talk about the great debate. Did the internet ruin SCP? Why do some people think it has? Why do others think it hasn't? Why is this a debate to begin with? Well, I reckon that it all has to do with this: the results of its popularity. So going into this section, I think the best way to break things down, especially as a new SCP community person, is to look at both sides of the argument. So where to begin? Where am I going to start this? You know what? I gotta look at the louder the two.
The SCP has been ruined! Diving into this side of the argument, I found tons of different comments and theories and observations and Reddit threads and videos and all of that type of stuff.
And now I can do two things. Firstly, I can put some gloves on because we're going to be dissecting some stuff. And secondly, I can now confirm that there are a lot of reasons why people feel the way they do.
That modern SCP equals bad.
Some making good points, others not so much in all honesty. But to start, I reckon we should talk about one of the standout ones, well, for me at least.
Oversaturation.
Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's sick that the SCP community is filled with passionate people all wanting to add their own ideas and creations to the universe. I really do. That's really cool. I said it earlier. I really think that's cool. But at the same time, the SCP universe is massive. It's huge and it's ever expanding. It's actually insane how much stuff there is on this side of the internet.
Google SCP. Do it after this video. Do it. Millions and millions and millions of things. Entries, lore, stories, videos, animation, music, games. It just keeps going. Do not ask the coffee machine for a cup of joe. Worst day in Joseph's life.
And as somebody who is just starting out in the SCP universe, I'm a beginner here. Do you want to know what I felt at the beginning of my journey and do still kind of feel? Oh my god, where do I even begin, man? There's just so much stuff. There's so much stuff to learn. And I'm sure I'm not alone in saying that.
I reckon there's quite a few people that have wanted to get into SCP over the years, but just couldn't because of the sheer, constantly growing bulk. Thankfully, I am somebody who does like quite a bit of lore in my stories, so this isn't that much of an issue for me personally. I love Warhammer 40k. Dale does too. Holy shit! But I know that lots of people aren't like me in this regard and see universes with tons of stories as quite overwhelming, quite off-putting. Look at all this stuff. Just look at it. There's a lot here. There really, really is. And you want to know some of the consequences of this oversaturation idea where things really start to snowball? Once a universe gets this big, people start arguing about how the writing quality has gone down, how stories and SCPs are less interesting than they used to be, the emergence of tropes and cliches, how it seems like people just want to make yet another look at my new world-destroying Keter entity, SCP-2289567. If you look at it, it makes you shit yourself. He's got no face and he drop kicks you, and when he drop kicks you, he says judgment.
But a really big one is the creation of new dumb SCPs.
You can go on the internet right now and find entire threads and videos talking about it. Here's one that I found the other night thanks to reading a Reddit thread. SCP-426. Hello, I am SCP-426. I must be introduced this way in order to prevent ambiguity. I am an ordinary toaster, able to toast bread when supplied with electricity. However, when any human being mentions me, they inadvertently refer to me in the first person. Despite all attempts, there is yet to be a way to speak or write about me in the third person. In my continuous presence for over 2 months, individuals begin to identify themselves as a toaster. Unless forcibly restrained, these people will ultimately harm themselves in their attempts to emulate my standard functions. This is a toaster that turns you into another toaster. Honestly, peak.
You want to know what really gets blamed when people say that the internet ruined SCP though? It isn't people thinking that new SCP is more concerned with power scaling or edginess or one-upping stuff that came before or anything I just mentioned a few seconds ago. Nah, God no. It's
content farms. Yes, content farms. I love them. I still haven't fully recovered from my 100 Lankybox video. Now you're telling me that they've made SCP videos? Yes!
Dale,
Isn't that amazing? And fucking look at the camera. Isn't that amazing?
Seriously though, like anything that's ever gotten popular online, the SCP Foundation has fallen victim to content farms. And by the way, I'm not just talking like kids YouTube and kids videos. Sure, those do exist.
Welcome guys to the SCP store where every SCP costs just $1. Except for that big one in the back that costs $1 million.
But I'm talking content farms solely dedicated to making SCP slop. During my descent into this side of the SCP has been ruined argument, I discovered that it's actually a topic that's been heavily discussed in the SCP community.
Main content farms that get brought up in discussions about SCP content farms being these channels: Dr. Bob, The Rubber, and SCP Explained. The SCP content farm that I have the most, let's say, experience watching. It's a sub-channel of the Infographic Show. Remember the Infographic Show? That one channel I mentioned all the way back in the intro? Come on, you remember them. They're the Infographic Show. These channels, they've been pumping out SCP content for years, and their videos dominate search results. Look up SCP on YouTube right now, or maybe not right now, after this video, do it. You'll see them everywhere. Just go away, SCP Explained. I don't care about Taco Bell on the moon. I love minimum wage. And what I think is wild is that these channels, they've kind of created a fake version of SCP. A streamlined, marketable, poorly animated, dumb, stupid version. It's still technically about SCP, but it's really simplified, losing the weird, detailed charm of the original version. It's like SCP got TikTokified. Oh no, he's evil and he's running at you. You know who I think can help us? Mr. Beast. Can the SCP Foundation contain Omni-Man?
And honestly, that can skew public perception. Like let's say you're a brand new SCP person, or someone who has some interest in getting into SCP. If all you see is this kind of content, you may think that all SCP is just some edgy monster of the week type thing. And on the other side of the spectrum, if you're some grizzled SCP vet who's been in the community for years and read millions and millions and millions and millions of entries, you could see this and it could tarnish how you feel about the current state of SCP. You could become quite jaded. Oh, and a side note here for a second, while we're talking about channels that make questionable SCP content, of course, SCP, it hasn't been safe from weird, strange animation videos being uploaded onto YouTube.
This is SCP-999, a little orange blob creature full of whimsy and happiness. For God knows what reason, videos of this character becoming an woman with I don't know, I can say this without getting demonetized. Woman curves are quite popular on YouTube. What are we even doing, man? Like, why are we doing this?
Back on track though, look, there are more reasons why some people online think that the internet has ruined the SCP Foundation. I'm sure you, if you're part of this side of the argument, I'm sure you have some that I haven't even mentioned or thought of in my brain. Let me know about them in the comments. But, as I said earlier, this video, it isn't about solely waffling on and on and on and on and on about this side of the argument. Nah, God no. Dale, you remember. What's this video about?
Looking at both sides.
That's right! Looking at both sides!
So, now that we've spoken about the it's been ruined side, it's time to talk about the side that thinks it hasn't.
Right, round two of where to begin. You know, I think I'm gonna start with something simple, something that gets brought up a lot by this side of the argument, and something that I think is quite true, in all honesty. People just like to blanketly hate new stuff.
I don't know why this happens, but it's real, it's a thing. And it's especially true when it comes to things that people are very passionate about, or very very interested in, like the SCP Foundation.
Remember how earlier I mentioned that there's this growing sentiment online that newer SCPs, they're nowhere near as good as older SCPs writing quality-wise? Now, I have read a few new rough SCPs. I'm not going to stand here and pretend that every new entry is some storytelling Shakespearean masterpiece. But to just say that new SCP bad and blanketly say that everything's shit, like, come on man, just be serious for a second.
The most popular SCPs today, the ones that everybody remember, Peanut, the sad crying white man, the plague doctor, those did come from the earlier days of SCP. True, factual information. But what about all the ones that didn't survive? The ones that weren't remembered? While digging into this side of the SCP internet debate, I came across a Reddit comment that I reckon put it really well. I'm gonna have Dale quote it for you word for word.
It's just survivor bias. The old SCPs you've seen or remember are the ones that survived. It's like thinking old stuff was higher quality because only the best old stuff survived. All the garbage is gone.
Honestly, I think that's a damn good point. People love to look back on the past with these like rose-tinted glasses and say like, oh, it was so much better back then when it was like this. Everything that isn't like this is bad. Look, I'm guilty of doing it with things that I like. I'm sure you are too. But the truth is, it probably wasn't. It just feels that way. Thing is though, I mean, look, I know how the internet works. I'm terminally online. I uploaded my first YouTube video like 20 million years ago. Epic Gaming Moments #1, the best video on the entirety of YouTube.
I'm literally gonna make the thumbnail of this video play into that then versus now mindset because it has to for the YouTube algorithm. That's the game we're playing.
But don't get it twisted. In my opinion, if your sole reason for not liking new SCP is because new SCP bad, old SCP good, I don't think that's a very good reason. You may have other completely valid ones that go into a lot more depth, but if this is your sole reason, if it's just this one by itself, I mean, sorry man, you know how earlier I said that there's quite a few dumb reasons? This is one of the dumb ones, and look, sure, I know I'm new to SCP, but I reckon I'd feel this way if I was an SCP veteran too. Like, here's what I think at least, is a very interesting, newer SCP that I found while combing the wiki the other night.
SCP-8280. Basically, TLDR for you, SCP-8280 is what would happen if an Ankylosaurus became an earthbender from Avatar. The one with the bold child, not the blue people.
I think this is interesting. They manipulate geological materials to strengthen their armor and make things and all of that type of stuff. I've never heard of something like this before. I think this is cool.
But now, since we have all that out the way, nostalgia or holy nuclear take incoming, it can cloud judgment. I think it's time we move on to another point people on this side of the argument bring up to counter the modern SCP bad side. That being personal enjoyment and what you like versus what other people like. Now, as we all know, we as Homo sapiens, we aren't a collective hive mind that all think the same exact way about things.
I love red spaghetti on toast with grated cheese. This stuff's peak. But some people, like Dale, they think I'm fucking crazy for liking this. I don't care. I love it. I dig it. This is like peak cuisine.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
Dale, eat your red spaghetti on toast with grated cheese.
And in the context of SCP, some people, they may prefer older stuff over newer stuff and think that, oh, you know, man, I'm just not too interested in what's going on anymore. The new stuff, it doesn't hit as hard as it used to. It's way too convoluted and way too saturated. And all that's cool if you can think that if you want to. But people on this side of the argument, they've brought up that it's good to not confuse personal original SCP preferences with actual decline.
Like, you can still enjoy the parts that you like, but SCP, it doesn't have to be solely catered to you and your interests. Just because you may not like a newer story over an older one, it doesn't mean that the entirety of the SCP's gone to shit. At the end of the day, everybody's opinions on SCPs and newer stories versus older ones, and the past versus the present, they'll vary from person to person to person. And just because you, if you're a part of the side that thinks that newer SCP is bad and the writing quality isn't good and all new SCPs are shit, it doesn't necessarily mean that the content itself is worse. Maybe it's you that's changed.
Maybe you've gotten older and seen so many tropes over the years and read so many SCP stories that you're harder to scare or surprise or interest. Your days of discovering SCP, uncovering this secret corner of the internet full of mystery and intrigue, are over. You've been in this a long time now, and the more time you spend in something, the more it may seem like stuff is going down quality-wise, because you've read so much and learnt about so many things that you've kinda seen it all before. And that's not the fault of the newer stuff, it's no one's fault actually. It's just something that's happened.
Now, just like before, there are a lot more reasons why people think that the SCP hasn't been ruined by the internet, so if you got some, let me know in the comments. But regardless of whichever side of the argument you stand on, you know, what you think, or, you know, SCP is bad versus no, it's not, you're just coping, I think we can all unanimously agree that if there's one side of the SCP Foundation universe that's just gotten so damn messy, it's the games. Now, like anything that gets a sniff of popularity, a waft. Oh, it's a game. Maybe 2 games. But with SCP, there's millions of them. Isn't there, Dale? There's millions of them. Look at them. Look at all of them. Some are actually pretty good. Others...
Come on, what the hell is that noise?
Oh.
Whoa.
But games nonetheless. And honestly, I wouldn't call the existence of these games a consequence of SCP's popularity, because it's just such a mixed bag quality-wise.
So the other night, while Dale peacefully slept in his accommodation, my friend Reagan and I, we decided to dig into some of these SCP games. Problem was, though, we didn't really know where to start, because there's just so goddamn many.
You know, honestly, I wish somebody would make a platform where people can upload things for others to download completely for free. Maybe a mod. Yes, Gary's Mod. A game that everybody on the entire planet Earth has at least heard of before. I mean, come on, person watching this video. We all watched those old Vanos Gaming Gmod Funny Moments videos. I mean, come on, man, you know what I'm talking about. And Gmod, it is filled with SCP stuff. So Reagan and I, we fired up Gmod for the first time in like 2 years, clicked on find multiplayer game, searched around for a bit, and eventually stumbled across an SCP Dark RP server. Though there was a slight problem with this server. It was Russian. Reagan, you're the one who speaks Russian? You're being interrogated by the KGB.
No.
Moving on from Russian Gmod, we also decided to check out some of the thousands of SCP games on Steam. Specifically, these 3. SCP Nine-Tailed Fox, SCP Escape Together, and SCP Containment Breach Multiplayer. Oh my god. So you know how some people on the internet say that nothing ever happens? Wrong! Those people are wrong, because stuff, it definitely happened in these games.
This way!
Where do we go?
No, that's the other way!
Not this way. Where do we go, Reagan? I'm on a sprint. Reagan, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck?
No, there's...
Run!
No, wait, there's stuff here, there's stuff here, there's stuff here.
What do you mean there's stuff? What? Oh, it's a cup! A cup of water!
There's a pizza.
I want a
The
pizza!
pizza's- Wait.
It's too hot. Why the fuck is it too hot? Janitor
Containment.
heavily experienced an odd dream. I don't fucking care about
There's a
dream.
containing caution, why? Oh, China!
Regan!
I'm stuck in the door!
Regan! Regan! Hold me! Hold me!
There's a time switch, why didn't you listen?
Hold me!
Ja, ich auch. Stell dir vor, I have 2 guns.
Wow!
Look, I have a Desert Eagle and this gun. But you have the stronger gun, it's a bad thing.
I also have a Desert Eagle. Hello.
Построение давай, быстро, к стенке.
Hello.
Какое у меня звание? Какое у меня звание, Будатон?
Кадет, давайте,
Кадет.
кадет к стенке на построение.
Бля.
I'm penis! Ah! Die, creatures of the dark abyss! Behind you, Regan!
Thank you, brother.
Die!
Ooh, why is there a big pocket? Ah, I'm out of ammo.
What?
Baby, what? You're the big daughter.
What the fuck is happening? Regan, he's coming for you. Run! Run! You want to know where all of these SCP games get really fever dreamish though? Roblox and the App Store. Starting with Roblox, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to mentally do it with just me and Regan. So I fired up my stream, went live, and dragged my chat into the trenches with me. We can probably work out the circumference of my eyeballs on stream. Hello, Mina's Prime. Oh my way. There's a fucking standoff happening. Shoot the red guys. Okay. You hear that, men? Destroy the red guys. All right, Zeus. Wait, what's Dante doing here? I'm being possessed. Help me. Hello, sir. Are you ready to go to war? To die for our cause? That game was really fun. Thank you for suggesting it. What the fuck?
Time to get away.
We're in the vents like Among Us. And you have a minigun.
I should find you.
The doctor?
Follow over.
What the? He tweaking. He fucking. Gun him down, Regan.
Listening to you there.
What the fuck are you? Heisenberg. That's not Heisenberg. You want to know what I think it's time for, though? A solo endeavor. No backup, no Regan, no chat. Just me, alone with SCP App Store games. How old are you? I am 120 years old. Failed to load. Did a mobile game just fucking crash? Why the fuck is this not working? Stupid. Oh my god, what is this? what is this? I don't know what any of this means. Watch it. It's saying I need to go this way. Okay, the door's opened. I'm getting an MP5. Hello, what are you? Hi. I don't know what button to press. This one.
I have no knowledge of any of this. This is so bizarre.
Am I making progress? Is there no like language settings? Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Now, though, I think it's time we circle back to the main question at hand. Did the internet ruin SCP? I reckon it isn't a simple yes or no answer. If anything, it's really bloody nuanced. As chaotic, oversaturated, and downright bizarre it's become, me personally, I don't think the internet completely ruined it. Sure, there are areas where shit's gone a bit mad. Even me as a new SCP community member, I can see that. Bad new entries, dumb stories, broken games, content farms, convoluted lore, all of that. But in the middle of all that mess, there are still really interesting things, creative spins, passionate people, and weird, cool ideas that keep it alive. So maybe
just maybe, SCP being in the state it's in right now, it doesn't mean it's been ruined or anything like that. Maybe it's just doing what it was always meant to do. Escape containment.
What the fuck is happening? Oh shit, shit!
Thanks for watching. My name's The Beak. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe, all of that type of stuff, and I'll see you soon.
Subscribe to The Beak.